announcement has been paid for by the
nOw.
You can actually hear. There we go. Hello. Welcome back to the nOw podcast. Hush your face, Ty. You're not even ready for it yet. Yeah, this week is going to be a little bit different. We're not doing a retro review. If you saw the post earlier today, we are doing our top 10 of all time. That's top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. And we're going to do that after this week in wrestling. But I'm here as always with Trevor.
What's up, everybody?
And I don't know. There's two people in chat right now that both said they might want to be on for the top 10 portion at least. So maybe when we get a little bit deeper, we can have some more people hop in here as well. But for now, the week in wrestling, Trevor, why don't you start us off with Monday Night Raw?
Hi, Ty. All right, Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna say this wasn't a bad Raw. It was actually pretty good compared to some weeks.
Yeah, I agree with you.
For the opening segment, we had Lashley, MVP, and all their people, the ladies celebrating his win in the back, and then, or not in the back, they had him celebrating, and the New Day come out, and started telling him basically they want to challenge him, and Xavier Woods is going to challenge him. And then he doesn't want just any match, he wants it to be Hell in a Cell. So we're getting the fourth Hell in a Cell in less than a week.
Yeah.
But that's later. That'll be the main event. And Bobby Lashley, of course, agrees to that.
Absolutely. And his promo was pretty good too. Saying, basically saying to go ahead and doubt him. People have been doing it his entire career and everything like that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, MVP was calling him a clown,
and he kept telling MVP to shut up all throughout.
And that's why Kofi's just a tag team person now, because he hangs around with that clown.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed
really
that.
Good.
Thank you, Bat and Ty, for the hosts.
First match is a qualifier for the Money in the Bank, and we have AJ Styles versus Ricochet, two of the best. And it was a really good match. And surprisingly, Ricochet picked up the win and is going to be in the Money in the Bank. But yeah, it was a really good match, and Eric and Ivar came out and helped keep Omos from, interfering. Oh wait, no. They were talking about they interfered from the back.
Yep.
Yeah, they could come out. Okay. Sorry, I have the notes up, and then I just.
They did start fighting almost at ringside, so it did get through there. But yeah, this was a really good match. My only thing was like, what was Ricochet wearing? Like his gimmick's just gone, and he was just wearing basically, he kind of looked like he was part of the Shield there for a second without the vest.
And I think the match could have gone on a little longer. It would have been better, because these two can really go, but I mean they're working just a regular Monday Night Raw, so it was a good match for Raw. And I'd like to see that on a pay-per-view.
I agree. The catch of the phenomenal forearm into the recoil, what he calls it, which is the code breaker. That was clean. It looked very clean. And I mean, that's how he got the win. So he is still going to be using the code breaker as a finisher, it looks like, along with his 540.
Do you want to start a cult with me?
Thank you for the host.
Was a tag team match for the ladies. We had Asuka and Naomi, just a random pairing. And then we had Eva Marie and not Piper Nevin, but Dewdrop. That's what they want to call her, or even Marie calls her anyway.
What a shame.
Yeah. This was another Money in the Bank qualifier for the ladies, and
Thanks DKA for the sub.
it, even Marie didn't do anything. She was just there again, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's the one that took the pin, but this wasn't a great match.
No, it was good though how Piper Nevin. I mean, she's obviously upset that Eva was going to introduce her, asked her what her name was, and then said Dewdrop before she could get her name out. But she left her high and dry, which that was nice.
Yeah, this match probably could have been better if you put anybody else in there besides Eva Marie, because Asuka and Naomi are really good, and Piper Nevins, I've only seen her in like the one match from
Jolly, thanks for the
Young
host.
Classic, and she looked really good too. So
Yeah, I mean she's good
Eva
on
Marie.
she's good on NXT UK. She's had some good matches.
Yeah, so but Asuka and Naomi get the win with the roll up on Eva Marie, and so they're both in the Money in the Bank for the women, which can't be mad at that because, like I said, those two are really good.
Absolutely.
And then we had another Money in the Bank qualifier, which was Randy Orton against John Morrison, and The Miz was on commentary because he's still hurt, and he's really good on the mic, so why not use it?
Absolutely.
Riddle remained backstage, so at the start, so we this was a good match, though. I mean, both these guys can go. And then Riddle came out riding his scooter and chased the Miz around because Miz tried to interfere from his wheelchair. And
with the dripstick.
Yeah, he was using Morrison's dripstick, and so Riddle was chasing him around on the scooter, and then Orton got distracted, just like looking like what the hell is going on, and that allowed Morrison to get him with the Starship Pain. Well, he knocked him down and then hit him with the Starship Pain, which I like that move.
Yeah, it's a good looking move. This was a surprise to me. DK is going for a lot of contenderships right now.
Rain glow.
I was surprised that Orton lost.
Yeah,
And
especially to John Morrison.
Maybe this is Morrison getting a little bit of push, hopefully, because he's really good. And Orton doesn't really need Money in the Bank, so.
I don't waste all these people's time bitching.
Yeah, but this was a good match. These two work well together. And then we had another Money in the Bank match. Put them all right there together. This was another women's match, another tag team, which was Alexa Bliss and
You're good,
Super
DK.
Nikki Cross. Super Nikki Cross. I don't know if that's her official name, but she's a superhero now.
Yeah, and apparently it was her idea.
Yeah. Let's. I'm gonna give it a chance before I knock it, but just looking at it, you're like,
yeah.
all right.
And the
that's
fact
what you want to do.
The fact that she had to team with Alexa Bliss, who was her partner before, and they had Alexa pretty much destroy her to end it, and then they're like, oh, you guys are tagging back up for this one.
Yeah, and she's supposed to be like super face, and I don't know if you would qualify. Bliss could be an in-betweener maybe, because she went after Shayna, but she definitely cheats, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if you count supernatural abilities as cheating, I kind of would.
Yeah, this was a okay match, and it had some weird stuff, more eye contact, controlling people. And
this time making Reggie almost slap Nia, even though Nia got the slap off on Reggie.
And then
at Hell in a Cell.
surprisingly, Cross got the roll-up win on Baszler, so she keeps her momentum going, which I'm glad Nikki's some wins, and she's on TV. That's why I said I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt on her gimmick. She wanted to do it, so hopefully she can get it over.
Yeah, DK, we're going to be talking about that. I believe it was 14. 14 was the final count.
I don't hate the whole Bliss thing doing the trance, because they're like I said last week, they do supernatural stuff, and people just gotta stop, realize it's gonna happen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So Bliss and Cross are both in the Money in the Bank.
Which I like that move.
And then the next one is Money in the Bank for the men. And we had Drew McIntyre versus Riddle, which sounds really good on paper and was a really good match. Drew, of course, was really tore up from the night before with Bobby Lashley. I mean, his back is just ripped open and bruised, just destroyed. They didn't want to let him compete. And no, this was back and forth, and they both got in big hits, and I really didn't know who was going to go over in this one. And McIntyre hit the Future Shock DDT, and I thought that was going to be it. And I thought Orton might come out and help, like, cost Riddle the match, because Riddle kind of cost him the match, even though he was trying to help. But
yeah.
No, Riddle scored the upset victory. I mean, I guess and considered it upset because Drew was just in the title picture, like,
yeah, and I mean,
forever.
And it was a clean win. I mean, yes, it was a roll up. I mean, it was a victory roll. But yeah, it was a clean loss on Drew McIntyre, which we haven't seen in a minute. Thank you, DKA, for the host. We haven't seen Drew lose clean in a while. He's been getting screwed over when he loses. But this is a clean loss, and I'm actually impressed that Riddle's the one that was the one to be able to do it.
Yeah, and I like Riddle. He's not so annoying anymore. I mean, he's still annoying, but he's not like originally when he first came out. I'm like, dude, I hate this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, Ty, he did not lose clean to Bobby either. He needed MVP in that one.
Yeah, he's grown on me.
Yeah, I enjoyed the little exchange after the match where he was really happy and Randy Orton was standing there with his arms crossed. Lana, thank you for the host. And he's like, Randy,
Come on,
don't
Randy.
leave me hanging,
you can
bro.
talk to me.
You can talk to me, bro. And just Randy Orton keeping the not impressed face. I'm impressed that he could keep a straight face while Riddle was doing that right in front of him. True professionalism.
Hi, yeah. In the final match of the night, we have Xavier Woods versus Bobby Lashley.
Much better than I thought it was going to be. Much better than I thought it was going to be.
This might be his biggest match of Woods' career, or one of them. It's up there. Because I know he's never gone for the title. But
No?
yeah, this was really good. I mean, I thought it would be because Xavier Woods is good. And Bobby
I just
Lashley
didn't think they were going to give Xavier Woods time in this match.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to give him the chance to showcase what he can actually do, especially against a guy like Bobby Lashley, who's extremely dominant right now. I thought it was just going to be a kind of a quick thing, maybe a spear, and then finish him off with the Hurt Lock. Just a simple squash match, but mainly because Xavier Woods is moving on to do stuff with G4. If you guys don't know, he is now a host for G4, so he is going to move on and do some stuff over there. So he's apparently going to be out for some time. So I thought this was their way of kind of throwing him out the door until he comes back.
Yeah, Woods took a lot of big shots, and then he rallied back and
Delivered some big shots too.
Yeah, with kendo sticks and some tornado DDT, and he almost got he got a 2 count out of it. And then he
did his version
Diving.
of that coast to coast.
Yeah, the elbow through the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Lashley threw him into a chair that was wedged in the corner, and it hit the spear, and then Hurt Locker, and nobody getting out of the Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
And then MVP got in the cage and locked Kofi out, and they put the Hurt Lock on him again, and was holding him against the side of the cage, making Kofi watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but really good Raw, like best in a while, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd agree. You can go ahead and do NXT as well, and I'll do SmackDown and AEW.
All right. We started off with Adam Cole in the ring saying he refused to choose his opponent because last week they told him that Kyle O'Reilly and him had to each choose an opponent. Of course, Kyle O'Reilly chose Kushida,
Mm-hmm.
which is the main event tonight. But Cole said he wasn't doing it. He wasn't fighting. And then Carmelo Hayes walked out, and I think we've only seen him a couple times on NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a really good match. I mean, he got.
I enjoyed Carmelo Hayes coming out and throwing that homage to John Cena. He came out and Adam Cole said, "What is he doing there?" And he said that he was gonna
aggression.
Yeah, he was gonna quote a wise man, and he said, "Ruthless aggression." Yeah, keep that same energy. And then he slapped Adam Cole like, of course, John Cena slapped Kurt Angle when he debuted. I just thought that was a nice little throwback.
Yeah, and a good match. Hayes got some offense in there, didn't get completely squashed.
Yeah, this was a pretty good match, honestly.
Yeah, great opener.
Mm-hmm.
Got the.
Yeah.
And then we had an interview with Zoe Stark and explained why she helped Io Shirai, and she said she respected Io and didn't want to see her getting beat down.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frankie Monet was talking to Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea in the back and encouraging their match, saying it was going to be a big night for all of them because she's having her re-debut, her encore debut.
Yep.
And then we had Zoe Stark and Io Shirai versus Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea with Robert Stone. The match was okay.
It was mediocre at best.
Yeah, not something you need to go out and see.
Yeah, I mean it was probably the worst match of the night, realistically.
Yeah, I probably worse than most of the matches on Raw too.
Mm-hmm. Raw had some good matches. They had like 3 really good matches.
Yeah, which is weird for NXT to say that they have a worse match than Raw.
Yeah, and then since Zoe Stark and Io Shirai won, they're going to be facing. They're going to be facing Gonzalez and Kai and Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart for #1 contendership this week, so tomorrow. Well, 2 days.
Yep.
I forgot we're doing this on a Sunday again for the first time in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Pay-per-views, man.
Used to those Monday. We had 2 in a row, and then we just needed. You had stuff going on. That's one Sunday.
Yep.
Then we had Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory in the ring, talking about new management backstage. So he wanted to call out Karrion Kross because we need a new champion. About how good NXT was when he was champion, how it thrived. And then Kross did not come out, but Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. And Pete Dunne basically said that Gargano was out of his mind and he was next in line for the title shot, not Gargano. And instead of starting something, Gargano was like, "We're playing by the rules. Don't touch him. Put the mic down," and walked out of the ring. And then Austin Theory started having words with Dunne, and Dunne broke his fingers. So Johnny went to the back, Are they face now? Because they seem
I
like they
think
were
so.
going.
They're so over right now. I don't think you can. I mean, after the match that's coming up, how hard they got cheered. I mean, it's hard to say that they're not face with how over they are.
But
Um,
then his wife and Indy Hartwell are definitely not face. They are very much heel. So are
yeah. I mean,
half the way
I'd
heel and
like to
half of
call
it
them
face.
tweeners. I'd like to call them tweeners. I don't know, because it's like, yeah, they are very heel, but they're at the point kind of where Tommaso Ciampa got to, where of course he was heel, but he was so over that he was borderline face. I think that's kind of where we're at with the way right now, is that they're so over that you could argue that they're face because they're gonna get cheered more than they're booed.
But after that, Gargano and Austin Theory went to the back and talked to Regal, made sure to knock, and he gave him a pencil because he broke one from a few weeks ago. He said demanding consequences for Dunn and Lorcan, and William Regal agreed and made a match. And Austin Theory's like, "But my fingers are broken," basically, and so they're out there. They have the match. Gargano and Austin Theory versus Oni Lorcan and Pete Dunne, and it was a good match.
Great match.
I mean, all four of these guys are good.
Mm-hmm.
Gargano and Dunne are like really good. Not the other two are really good, but I think Gargano and Dunne are on another level right now compared to them.
Yeah.
And the other two are, well, I know Austin Theory's young. I don't know about Orny Lorcan, how
He's
young
pretty.
he is or not.
He's getting old. But Austin Theory, he struggled in this match because of his hurt finger. But I mean, he showed a good bit of talent in this match.
Yeah, I mean, all four guys are really good in this one, and Johnny Gargano, which was the old guy, Johnny, he showed up and put in a good fight. And Gargano and Theory get the win with this one too, which
Yep.
I would think I would have thought Pete Dunne would have got this one, but
Yeah, I think they're just leaning a little bit towards Gargano here.
yeah. And then afterward, Cross came out and laid out Gargano with his elbow.
Yeah, and that's
The
where
elbow.
that's where the booze ran in.
Yeah.
As Austin Theory crawled to him and was making sure he was okay. He really sold that he thought Gargano was dead.
Yeah, just Cross is just not NXT. His style is not for NXT. I don't think.
You're not special.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then in the back, Samoa Joe got in his face for a minute, but then he lets him pass because he didn't provoke Joe, so he can't touch him.
Yep.
And then Scarlett gave Joe a look, like a stare down.
Little death glare.
Yeah. Can we just move him up to the main roster? Get it
Get him
over
out.
with.
Get him out of NXT.
We had Frankie Monet versus Electra
Rated,
Lopez.
thank you for the host.
And it was a squashed match.
100% a squash.
Squashed her. That's all there was. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Using the glam slam.
And then it showed earlier in the day, Ever Rise put hoods on and went to spray paint Hit Row's van or limo. And Top Dollar caught them and they were like, "You don't know who we are." And he's like, masks don't work when you got your name on your shirts. Basically calling them dumbasses.
Yeah. And I do want to point out really quick before we move on to the actual match of things. Everrise has been released by WWE along with 12 other individuals. Those individuals are Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Tony Nese, Arya Davari, August Gray, Kurt Stallion, the Bollywood Boys, Arturo Ruiz, Marina Shafir, Killian Dane, and Tino Sabatelli. yeah, all of them have now been released. Everrise was the only ones that were released that were on this show.
The only one on there
You
that
just
I
made
was
the
kind of
list.
surprised was Killian Dane, because he had been in the story with.
I was a little surprised with Brizengo. Thank you for the sub, Trav Whiffs. I was a
Yeah,
little bit surprised by Fandango and Tyler Breeze just because Tyler Breeze, how over he was, or still is really, but he's just an NXT gem. Um, I'm a little upset by Tony Nese, but I get it. I love Tony Nese, but like I said, I get it. Um, Killian Dane, yeah, that's the big surprise. And then the other ones you really, I mean, it's nothing.
it's 205 Live basically.
Hey, yeah, 205 Live. If you saw my post, 205 Live went from 14 members down to they went down to 6 members. So it looks like 205 is being phased out.
Yeah.
Yes, the Singh brothers. That's the Bollywood boys.
There there was a match between Hit Row and, well, it was squash and
Yeah.
Everrise. This was even worse than the Frankie Monet squash. They
Mhm.
got nothing. Top Dollar killed him with the power bomb. Yeah, so pushing Hit Row. I mean, they look good. Top Dollar looks like he's gonna be a beast. So, I mean, they should really good. Finally, we have the main event. Kyle O'Reilly. Riley. I can't speak tonight. Kyle O'Reilly versus Kushida, but the 205 Live title is not on the line.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but this match, really good. A lot of back and forth. Each man countering. We got a lot of the hoverboard locked in, and just, we all expected this match to be really good. It was. It delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And then
After the match.
Kyle O'Reilly got the win.
Yep.
But then they shook hands afterward. And then, of course, Adam Cole came out, just started beating on O'Reilly. And as they're fighting, brawling to the back, and Kushida's in the ring, and then Roderick Strong and 3 other guys jump in the ring and attack him. And their manager, Malcolm Bivens, announced that this is the Diamond Mine has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
So Roderick Strong is back, even though he said he retired or quit not too long ago.
Yeah, he put in his notice of yeah. Yeah, I'm blanking on the word right now. But yeah, he basically quit.
Yeah. We all knew it was just for the story.
Yeah,
so
but
he could be off TV for a little bit.
good on NXT for giving Roderick Strong a faction, making him the leader. Because Roderick Strong's very good. He's been very over in NXT for 6 years now. Yeah, he's definitely a main eventer that was in Undisputed Era. Almost everybody in Undisputed Era was a main eventer. All besides really Bobby Fish, but that dude's 44 years old, so he's just a little past his prime. But yeah, Roddy's going to be something fierce.
I don't
I'm
know
excited.
these other 2 guys with him, Tyler Rust and Hideki Suzuki.
Now, Tyler Rust he's been on NXT a couple times, but he's been mainly over there on 205 Live, so I can understand why people don't know who he is. He is very, very good, though. The other guy, no clue. No clue.
Yeah, so we'll see where this goes for these guys. Obviously, they're going to start something with... They've already started something with Kushida.
That's normal, Ty. Yeah, I think this is going to lead... I mean, you saw Roddy touch the Cruiserweight Championship. I don't necessarily want him to go for the Cruiserweight Championship. Because, I mean, that's the title that Kushida has right now. But it's a start. Adam Cole got his start with the North American Championship. So
Yeah, this was a good NXT, of course. I mean,
Mhm.
they're not really as a bad NXT.
No.
The opener and this last match though were the standouts for the NXT. The rest of them were just, I mean, the Way versus Lorcan and Oni was pretty good too.
Hmm.
The other was a squash matches, so but yeah, 3 really good matches and then some squash matches. So
Yeah.
good
No,
night.
it was a pretty good night. But now on to Friday Night SmackDown on June 25th. We had Bianca Belair kicking off the show. Well, first off, we had a backstage promo. Jimmy Uso told Roman that he could not find his that Jay was not coming back to SmackDown, and then Jimmy said that he could do what his brother does, and he would prove it that night. And then we had Bianca Belair in the ring. She was cutting a promo basically on her victory over Bayley at Hell in a Cell. Seth Rollins is the one that interrupted her and touted his own win. Bayley joined the fray, and from there reiterated that Rollins that Belair's win was a fluke and Rollins was not. And then Bayley attacked Bianca Belair. And then Cesaro is the one that made the save on this one. There was at one point before Cesaro came out that Bianca Belair had the upper hand, and Seth Rollins is the one that pulled her off and let Bayley get up and then let Bayley attack Bianca. So that was pretty funny in that situation. Moving on, we had a mixed tag team match: Cesaro and Bianca Belair versus Seth Rollins and Bayley. This was a mediocre match, realistically. This was nothing really to call home about, but it's a mixed tag match, so I mean, there's pros and cons to it. It's nice that you can see this type of match, but then again, you're not going to see any interaction between the mixed gens, of course.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. Why bother? If they can't fight each other, then
Yeah.
it's stupid. Okay, you tagged in, so you automatically have to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, and
let
the
'em
most
fight.
you can do as the other gender is to get in the ring and pull the opponent off of the pin. So I mean, it's not like you could do too crazy much to save your partner or anything like that.
And these would have been 4 like people you really could have like believably go against each other, because none of them. I mean, Cesaro's a little taller than the rest of them, but they're not
Yeah.
like they're not Braun Strowman going against Bayley. It's not, that wouldn't make it unbelievable. These 4 could have all had a real match and been
I
fine
agree.
with anybody against anybody.
I agree. But at the end, Bianca Belair and Bayley were legal. Seth Rollins rolls into the ring away from Cesaro and bumps into Bianca Belair as she's holding Bayley for the kiss of death, which makes Bianca Belair fall down and lets Bayley hit the rose plant to get the pinfall on Bianca Belair for the win for Bayley and Roman Reigns, or Seth Rollins. But yeah, it was just an okay match. I did kind of like this, but then again, it's difficult to like this. When did she name it the Rose Plant? It's been named the Rose Plant for at least 2 months now. It's been a while. Next up, we had Rick Boogs introducing Shinsuke and crowning him as the new King of SmackDown. Mediocre.
That segment was dumb.
It was.
I just didn't care.
There was just nothing to it. Yeah.
And Corbin was in the back, basically, like, very sad about it.
Yeah.
Is he gonna come out emo Corbin now?
I mean, he might, because we did have a backstage promo where Caleb Braxton went up to him, and he questioned what was the point of any of it without the crown. And he was definitely upset as the celebration continued. But it was a pointless celebration. Nothing happened. Yeah. And then Seth Rollins does interrupt mainly because Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, and tells them that he wants to be the next challenger to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Basically saying nobody deserves it more than he does, and to be honest, that's probably true.
Yeah.
He's probably the best person on SmackDown that hasn't even had a shot at Roman Reigns. So, yeah, that's the match that I would have thought. That's what I would wanted to have seen, especially when Seth was on Roman's side for a little bit. I wanted to see him turn out of that and get a shot, but we did not get that. Next up, we had a Money in the Bank qualifier. We had Big E versus Apollo Crews. This was an okay match. I'm getting sick of this match, though. To be honest with you, this is what? How many times is this? 6, 7?
I don't know.
I think last
Come
week.
on.
I think last week you said this was. Last week was the 5th out of 6 weeks that they had this match. So this is the 7th out of 8. 7th out of 8. Yeah. No, this is 6 out of 7th. But yeah, that's way too long. Way too long. Yeah, this time Big E gets the win over Apollo Crews after Aziz got kicked from ringside. But yeah, I'm getting sick of this match.
It was a good match, but this really makes Crews look like he's weak. He can't win without Aziz, because that's how he won the title originally. He couldn't beat Big E until he had Aziz's help.
He hasn't been successful without him, and he really hasn't defended that title much either. So,
but I'm glad to see Big E in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, the Money in the Bank match looks pretty stacked right now, to be honest. A lot of surprises that we've announced tonight.
Oh, they did announce for the Monday Night Raw that it'll be McIntyre, AJ, and Orton for the last spot to get a second chance. I mentioned that during the Raw. As
well as next week, Caleb Braxton informed Sami Zayn that he will face Kevin Owens for a spot at Money in the Bank as well. But Sami Zayn was saying how the WWE officials were playing with karma. But yes, that match will be a last man standing match. So that should be a very good match on Friday. Next up, we had Liv Morgan versus Carmella. This was an okay match. It was very mediocre.
They put Carmella just in the Money in the Bank. She didn't have to qualify.
Yes, and Liv Morgan was upset about it. And this match was for her to be able to answer, which it never really got announced if it never got announced if now Carmella is out or if just both of them are in.
I don't think they have enough women for Carmella to be out.
True, but Liv Morgan did pick up the win. This is the second week in a row that she beat Carmella as well. But yeah, I don't know if they never said if both of these women were in or if Carmella was now out. But next week we'll be able to let you guys know more information, I think. Next up we had Jimmy Uso versus Dolph Ziggler in an actually pretty good match. Jimmy Uso does end up picking up the win with a super kick. I just find that funny because both are finishers with a super kick. But Jimmy Uso is the one that connects, and he picks up the win. And then to close the show, we had Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns in the center of the ring, basically saying that there's nobody left. There's nobody left for Roman Reigns. He's beat them all. Just pretty much bragging. And then you hear over the intercom, "You think that you know me." And Edge comes through, even though he's already had a chance, but he never had a one-on-one chance. So Edge does come out to the ring and he attacks Roman Reigns. He delivered a spear. Jimmy Uso tried to make the save, but he got destroyed as well. And he stood tall. He stood tall to end the show. So looks like we're going to get Edge versus Roman Reigns. But earlier in the night, as we announced, Seth Rollins is the one that says that he should be the new contender. So I think that Edge is going to be the one that gets the Money in the Bank, but I think Seth's gonna weasel his way. Probably not into the match, but he's going to make an impact in that main event.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
rumor has it he's going to be. Edge does have full creative control, and Edge has announced he wants Seth Rollins in a feud. So that makes the most sense to me.
Like Ty said, Jimmy came out and got speared through the barricade by Edge.
Yeah.
While Roman just ran away.
Yeah. Let's see here. But yeah, that was SmackDown. It was honestly, I think this is the first week that I'm gonna say it. I think Raw is better than SmackDown this week.
Yeah, they had better matches on Raw, and I mean SmackDown still had the better story going with the Roman stuff, of course, but
I don't know, Ty. There's 15 people. But yeah. Next up, we had a special Saturday Night Dynamite. Yeah, this was a good show. This was a good show. It was considered a special since it was on Saturday night. They finally got an 8 o'clock time slot again, which they haven't had in a while because of the NBA playoffs, basically. But it's nice. It's nice that they got an 8 o'clock slot, and it was actually a really good show with a packed crowd, loud packed crowd as well. But to open up the show, we had Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs in a pretty good match. There was interference from Ricky Starks and Hook. Page got the win, but this was actually a pretty decent match. I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it was great. It definitely wasn't the best match of the show, but we have Hangman Page picking up another win over Team Taz. Not too sure where that story's going.
Really good opener.
It was.
Then you also mentioned Ricky Starks getting beat up by Brian Cage. I'm sorry, I was looking something to see if they had announced if Liv Morgan was in, but I can't find anything.
Well, Liv Morgan's in because they did say that match was to get her in. What they didn't say is if it was Carmella's spot on the line. So yeah, I just don't know if both are in. I know Liv Morgan's in for sure. I just don't know if Carmella's in.
Well, it doesn't show her on the graphic.
It doesn't show Liv?
No, it shows Carmella.
That's strange because they did say that match was for Liv Morgan to get a spot. Strange. But yeah, next up we had a segment that probably could have been avoided. We had Conan and Tully Blanchard going face to face. It is the two mentors of FTR, of course, Tully Blanchard, and Proud and Powerful, which is now Conan. He was their manager in Impact when they were over there a couple years back. So, this didn't need to be here. But Conan does take a spike pile driver by FTR in this.
They came out dressed as
they came out. Yeah, they came out dressed as Proud and Powerful, and they ended up attacking Conan. The green guy.
It helps
is
further the
Strands?
story. Yeah, talking about Strands and stuff, so he can get his call.
I will say that neon green is very bright.
Yeah, I didn't hate this little thing. It was nothing special, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It helps move this story along. I mean, the story's been going for the whole Pinnacle versus I can't even think of Jericho's team right now.
The Inner Circle?
Or Inner Circle, that, yeah.
Mhm.
But See, that story's been going on for a while, but they're mixing it up, so I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind this.
It's not just this guy and this guy every week, like Apollo and Big E 17 times in a row. There's different matches there, so that's why I don't mind this one so much.
Yeah, and then next up we had a match that nobody really cared about, Matt Sydal versus Dante Martin. It was an okay match, realistically. Matt Sydal ended up picking up the win. But yeah, after the match, we had a backstage promo with MJF, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears. And it ended up being another brawl with Sammy Guevara making this save and vowing to beat MJF next week. We also, before this match, we did have Andrade and Vicky Guerrero out on the apron, or out on the stage, but they got interrupted by Matt Sydal's entrance, so they really didn't get to say what they were gonna say. So I think they're gonna say it next week. We'll see.
Yeah, that was strange. Like, he didn't do anything. He just came out. She did her little excuse me thing, and her voice irks me. But then he came out and nothing. That was just it. He went to the back when Sydal came out.
Yeah, they had a major. It was a major announcement, is what it was marketed as, and they never got to say it. So, I'd like to see what this major announcement is. I'm hoping this week we'll get what it is. But the next match we had Ethan Page versus Bear Bronson. This wasn't a great match, but it definitely made Ethan Page look very good. Looked very strong as well, being able to lift up Bear Bronson with ease like that, and being able to hit his version of the Razor's Edge, as he calls the Ego's Edge. And then after the match, Page said that his match with Darby Allin is going to be a coffin match at Road Rager on July 7th.
That should be good. I mean, I like Darby. I don't know much about Ethan Page.
Ethan Page is very good. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the stipulation of a coffin match, though. But I do feel like we're going to see a coffin drop into a coffin.
Yeah, that should be good.
Next up, we had an okay match. We had Chris Statlander versus the Bunny. But more importantly, it was really a best friends versus whatever their faction is going by. Yes, Ty the Bunny. You need to watch more AEW. The Bunny's good.
Allie.
Yeah.
Allie, that's what her name is, I think. Yeah, Bunny, the Blade, and the Butcher.
But yeah, this ended with Chris Statlander picking up the win.
Bunny's a woman. Allie is her name. Chris Statlander is a woman, also. It's a women's match.
Azteca.
But yes, Chris Statlander ended up picking up the win. But more importantly, Orange Cassidy was on the receiving end of a beatdown. Azteca getting tons of shots over here for everything.
Azteca.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy got beaten down, and he got knocked out with brass knuckles as well.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah, I am the cream. Yeah, let me see.
Who's got attitude, Ty? I
Azteca.
wasn't giving you attitude, I was telling you.
But the main event, this was the match of the week.
Yes.
They're still going. I still got things in my ears.
Azteca.
But yeah, the main event of AEW was the AEW World Championship match, Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega, and what a match it was. This match, Jungle Boy did not pick up the win. He did get beaten by Kenny Omega, but this made Jungle Boy look like not only $1 million, but $1.5 million. Yeah, this was...
They had a lot of times where you thought, maybe he's going to win. I mean, I didn't think he was going to, but there were times like, shit, are they going to do this? Just do this on AEW Dynamite, not on a pay-per-view?
Yeah, they got plenty of time in this match. Jungle Boy before the match looked like he was gonna cry because of how just coming out and hearing that entire packed crowd singing his theme song and everything like that. He did look like he was pretty emotional for it. But man, what a match! There was, like you said, there was a lot of points in this match where it looked like Jungle Boy was going to pick up the win. But he did come up short. He did get hit with a one-winged angel. Kenny Omega did win. I say clean with an asterisk because he did use eye rakes. He did pull the hair to get out of a submission. But for the sake of things, this was a clean match. And what a match it was. If you need to watch a match this week, go back and watch Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega. This is the match of the week. But after the match, Kenny Omega continued his assault on Jungle Boy in front of his mother and his sister, who were at ringside. Christian Cage comes out to stop the onslaught, who eventually gets attacked by the Hardy family office, and also the Young Bucks. So it is what it is. You have Christian Cage on his back laid out and Jungle Boy laid out to end the show as Kenny Omega, Matt Hardy, Private Party, and the Young Bucks are all standing over them. A lot of people are upset that this is how AEW ends a good portion of the time, with heels on top. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it every now and then. They could have ended this just with Christian Cage coming out and running off Kenny Omega, but yeah, I mean, this sets us up for some things in the future, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, this is still a really good match. Like you said, match of the week, easily.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
And I was glad to see that Jungle Boy looked really good and got a lot of offense in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was great. Like I said, if you want to watch one match this week, go ahead and find a way to watch Kenny Omega versus Jungle Boy. You will not be disappointed. But that is your weekend in wrestling. And now on to the main event of the week in NOW. We have our top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. We want you guys in chat to be very vocal. Talk to us about your favorites, and comment on ours. But I'm going to start us out with some honorable mentions. These are guys that didn't make my list. Trevor's also going to say his honorable mentions as well if he has some. But I have a handful here. Let's see. Honorable mentions. I have Batista, British Bulldog, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those are two big ones that didn't make my list. Brian Pillman, Will Ospreay, and Adam Cole. Those are my honorable mentions that were just short of my top 10.
Some good ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
My honorable mentions were the Outsiders, both of them. I loved them both in WWE and in WCW. Ric Flair.
That's a good one.
Adam Cole, is one that you mentioned. That's pretty much my ones that I thought about putting in the top 10 and they just got beat out.
All right. So I guess we can start with you. You'll do evens. I'll do odds. We'll go back and forth. But you start with evens, and then I'll say my 10.
All right. Number 10 for me probably deserves to be higher, but I haven't seen a lot of his matches, and the ones I did see were amazing. And that is Okada. One of the only New Japan wrestlers I have on here, kind of.
Okada's great.
Maybe one other, but yeah. The only few matches I've seen have been amazing with him, so I had to put him on there. I need to look up more of his matches.
Yeah, he has some amazing matches out there. he didn't make my top 10 or my honorable mentions just solely on the fact, not because of his wrestling, because his wrestling ability is amazing, but it's just that different style of things and just the language barrier. You know, a lot of my favorite wrestlers of all time are very promo driven as well. And if I really don't understand what you're saying, then I really can't get too far on your side. I can love some Japanese wrestlers out there like Kota Ibushi, I love. But I think if the language barrier wasn't there, he definitely would jump up on my list as well. But yeah, Okada's a great one that I didn't even put on my honorable mentions that I probably should have. My number 10 is Bret Hart. Yeah, I was little during during the end of his career, so I didn't get to see too much of him. He probably would have made it up higher if I was a little bit older, because I do love Bret Hart. And even going back through history and watching Bret Hart matches and things like that. But yeah, Bret Hart gets my number 10 spot. Could have possibly gotten higher, just me being the age of 27. Yeah, I was still fairly young when he was ending his career.
Can't go wrong with Bret Hart. He's on my list.
And then number 9. Number 9's one that people are probably going to be surprised by. Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer is my number 9. I was big into ECW before it came onto WWE, and even a little bit when it did get there. But Tommy Dreamer was that guy. You could argue that Sandman was that guy, but to me it was always Tommy Dreamer and possibly Sabu as well. But yeah, Tommy Dreamer, I absolutely love that guy. Hello, wife.
Yeah, Tom. He still wrestles, doesn't he? Or is he's on Impact?
No,
I know. I don't know if he
yeah,
wrestles.
he's one of the management figures for Impact.
Yeah. I didn't watch a lot of ECW. I've seen someone that was on WWE, you know, really watered down.
Yeah,
But-
WWECW.
Yeah, it really wasn't ECW.
Yeah.
For my number 9, I have the Icon, Sting.
Great pick.
Just he carried WCW for a long time. Him and a few others, of course, like Ric Flair, and the way he could change his character, he went from the surfer type guy to the Crow, and I didn't see the Joker Sting that much, but I'd heard about. I've seen stuff about it in from Impact, and the fact that he's still going today, I mean, he's obviously slowed down, but
A little bit.
he's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
And Ty says his number 9 is The Miz. I didn't see his number 10.
Yeah, Ty, who's your number 10? We didn't see your number 10.
Anybody else wants to put their stuff in there to let us know?
Yeah, we absolutely want you guys to be vocal in this. Anybody that's in chat, we want to see your guys' top 10 list as well as we go through with ours. Ty says his was Velveteen Dream at number 10.
See, I didn't put Dream on there because he's so young and hasn't had
Oh, he's
a
still
lot of matches.
he's still
And
only
he's-
like 25 years old.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put Jungle Boy on there also, because he's still very young, hasn't had a lot of matches. But both in the future, if Velveteen is given a chance, at least should be on there. I didn't put MJF on my list either. 'Cause
Yeah, and he has
still
he has
young and-
potential.
Sammy Guevara,
Yep.
another one.
You didn't prepare it for nothing. You're still here. Rated says his number 10 is Cena. You can move on to your number 8. Bat says his 10 is Triple H.
Both of those are good picks.
Mhm.
Number 8 for me, the man we've seen on NXT recently, the $1 Million Man. Never won the big title. He should have. I mean, he won it from Andre buying it, but no, that didn't count. But so good on the mic. Such just a
Very
heel
good on the
you
mic.
wanted to hate. You wanted to hate him. Him and IRS together as a tag team were a great tag team. Just maybe one of the best ever on the mic, I'd say.
Yeah, and this is why I like doing these lists as well, because it really shows the difference in our generations as well. Not saying you're old or nothing, but
It's okay, you could say that. I
we
say it all the time.
we were kids at different ages, so our top 10 kind of reflects what we grew up loving as well. So I thoroughly enjoy these top 10 lists, especially for all time like this. But my number 8 is Rob Van Dam, who was huge when I was a kid. Another ECW guy. I really didn't get heavy into. I really didn't get huge into Rob Van Dam during ECW, but towards the end, once they were doing One Night Stand and everything like that, and he fought John Cena at One Night Stand, really the top of the line Rob Van Dam. That's when I was very, very into him. Yeah, so he definitely makes number 8 on my list.
Mr. Monday Night.
Mm-hmm.
Rated number 9 is Triple H. I didn't even think about putting him on the list. I mean, I should have, because I really liked him.
I was never a fan of Triple H, honestly. Never a fan.
AJ Styles. That's
AJ
another one
Styles.
that I just forgot about, I think.
My number 7 brings it back a little bit. Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah, just another one. He wasn't really wrestling too much when I was watching, so I kind of learned a lot about Macho Man Randy Savage from having WWE Network and going back and watching weekly TV and seeing everything that he used to do, and yeah, it really made me much more of a fan of Macho Man. Being able to go back with WWE Network and watch his work from the past.
Yeah, Macho was great. Work with him and Elizabeth, and then he went with Sherry, and then back to Elizabeth was a great storyline. The whole Mega Powers. I was never a Hogan fan, but
Right, I'm not there yet. You're going ahead of us. Ew, you have Hogan on your top 10? Gross. All right, you're number 7.
my number 7 is the man Chris Jericho, the Inner Circle leader. Just went from WCW, just being very underused as just a cruiserweight that they didn't know what to do with, and then WWE, and upward from there, and still one of the best today. I mean, like other ones I've said, he's slowed down because he is old, but he still can go pretty good. And he's just helping like bring the spotlight to AEW, so that's a big plus for me.
Absolutely.
First undisputed champion, unified champion, or whatever. I forget which one they called him, but
Undisputed.
beat Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night, wasn't it?
Help. We got 2 people saying want to be famous. 2 at the same time. That doesn't happen often. Where's Travis at? Are you getting him?
Yeah.
Damn, you're interrupting him say his number 6. God damn it, bots. Alright.
No, my number 6 is Bret the Hitman Hart.
Nice.
Like you said earlier, I was older, so I'm older, so I got to see Bret in his prime. I actually saw Bret Hart live. I've only been to one show ever for WWE. It was a house show, and it was the undercard. It was Bret versus Owen.
That's a great match to see.
Yeah, and that was really good. And Bret, people are like, Bret's boring. I'm like, no, Bret's technical. He gets in there and he puts on wrestling. He doesn't do the high flying spots. I mean, he jumps off the top, or he jumps off the ropes, but not like high flying. But yeah, just always was one of my favorites. Uh, him being a heel in the United States but a face everywhere else is just was hilarious, and great storytelling too.
No, I agree. Brett's amazing. There's nothing bad to say about Brett. I mean,
He's
maybe
a little whiny
that.
now, but
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, maybe that he complained too much or something like that. But his in-ring work, if you look at anything, if you look at anything, look at his in-ring work because he's amazing in the ring.
yeah, I didn't go by like, oh, they're a piece of crap backstage, politics stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, Shawn Michaels wouldn't have made anybody's list if that was the case.
yeah. So who's your number 6?
My number 6 is AJ Styles. Um, I was pretty big into TNA and Impact when AJ Styles was really making his comeuppance before he got to New Japan. Um, so yeah, and then being able to see him debut at the Royal Rumble, get that huge pop that he got, and then the very fast rise in WWE, winning the WWE Championship in less than a year, and everything like that. Just AJ Styles is amazing on the mic, in the ring, everything. He has the look for it. Yeah, AJ Styles is just an amazing athlete. I couldn't not put him on my top 10 list.
Yeah, I just overlooked him. I was trying to think of all these people, and yeah, he should have definitely been either on the list or at least honorable mention. We got Ty saying his number 6 is Brave Mother Effin' Wyatt, and he was another one that should be on my honorable mentions. He would be on the list for sure because I loved all of his characters, but he's just so misused that I couldn't put him in the top 10. And Batman with number 7 is the Hardy Boys
Hardy
for him.
Boys. Let's see. Damn, Ty, that's mean. We do care. My number 5 is John Cena. That's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. Me being the age of 27, John Cena was like the biggest thing by the time I was like 10. He was just that guy. One of my earliest WrestleMania moments that I can remember is John Cena giving the FU to the Big Show at WrestleMania, which was a big deal at that time because Big Show was just so massive. Him being able to lift up Big Show on his shoulders and deliver it. Yeah, John Cena is just amazing. And then even still today, I mean, I guess I won't say today, it was just a couple years ago, he was dogging Roman Reigns on the mic, making Roman Reigns look stupid.
Yeah,
saying
I
that
remember that.
saying that and that's kind of spoiler alert for anybody that's in here. Well, everybody in here is pretty much on the NAW roster. That's pretty much what I'm going with right now when it comes to where Cody King's at, saying that I'm coming back because you guys can't do your jobs. That's kind of where I got that line from. That's the big one that sticks in my head. Is Cena's comments to Roman Reigns about his return. But yeah, John Cena makes number 5 on my list.
Yeah, I was never the biggest Cena fan, but I was never a hater because I always thought he was good in the ring. It just wasn't somebody I cheered for.
Yeah.
Plus, I know we weren't including stuff outside the ring, but all the Make-A-Wish Foundation, you got to respect him for that.
Absolutely.
The man makes a lot of kids happy, and
Absolutely.
that's just great because those kids deserve it. And Ty says his number 5 is The Undertaker, and Batman says number 6, Rey Mysterio. Both very good choices.
Mm-hmm.
My number 5 is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, the man helped save WWE because they were losing to WCW, and then Austin's rise was WWE's rise in ratings. The man was just great.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one that just missed my top 10.
Yeah, I could see that. If you were a little older, he probably would have been in there easily. But
I was more of a Rock fan, honestly. And I think it's pretty impossible to be a Rock fan and a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. I mean, people can be, and people can say both are in their top 10, but realistically, you gotta pick. You gotta pick. It was one or the other back then. It was not both.
the whole Brett versus Stone Cold too, when they did the old double switch, like Brett was the face going in, but he was the heel going out, and Stone Cold, that was just like a perfect match.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Austin 316 says, "I just kicked your ass."
Yeah, that made his career. That promo right there, King of the Ring, made his career.
Yeah, get that piece of shit out of my ring.
All right, number 4.
Number 4 for me was The Rock. I have them both on my list.
Wow, and I just said that you can say you have them both on your list, but you gotta pick one. But it looks like you chose The Rock a little bit there.
Yeah, just the whole. He started out. They were pushing him so hard, and people just rejected him. I loved that he reinvented himself. Well, they helped reinvent him, but his charisma, and it got him over. It's the heel that he wanted to hate.
Going from Rocky Johnson to The Rock.
Yeah, die Rocky die. Then he joined the Nation and took over the Nation basically, and then.
Chat's number 4s are Ty has Jericho, Rated has HBK, Bat has Randy Orton. Bat, I thought you would have Randy Orton as number 1. I'm impressed that he's your number 4. My number 4 had the match of the week this week. Kenny Omega. I've been a fan of Kenny Omega for a while now. Yeah, watching him at Wrestle Kingdom. The first match that I saw of his was his match with Okada, your number 10, at Wrestle Kingdom, and I went down a rabbit hole hard. And this was a little bit before. This was a little bit before Jericho popped up on the screen and challenged Kenny Omega. This is when Kenny Omega first won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. The man is like a mocap. Every move is so clean. Every move is so pristine. He doesn't miss. He makes everything look so good. It's hard to find another person, and I know this sounds like I'm all over AEW and everything like that, but realistically, I don't think there's anybody in the world that can make wrestling look as easy as Kenny Omega does. He's just so smooth in the ring. He's not... His promos are okay. I mean, it is a New Japan style of promo and cadence and flow. So it takes some getting used to. But his in-ring work alone, there's just nobody that's as clean as Kenny Omega in the ring.
Yeah, the first Omega match I saw was the one with Okada. People were talking about it. I'm like, well, I've got to go watch this. And then I end up watching all of the Wrestle Kingdom. And then I've seen the other ones with Okada, the ones with Jericho, all the stuff on AEW. I've watched some of his other stuff with the Bullet Club. And yeah, he's one of the best in the ring.
Yeah,
no matter
absolutely.
What some old-time people don't want to say about him.
I mean, there's a match with Kenny Omega fighting a blow-up doll, and it's one of the best matches that I've seen.
I know. Jim Cornette goes on and on about it, how he's ruining the business because of it.
Well, that's not just Kenny Omega. That doll, it's a tradition in Japan. It's basically showing you that you can carry anybody to a good match. You can carry the worst wrestlers to a great match. So this is their way of proving that they're good enough to carry somebody to a good match. Everybody in New Japan has done it. Will Ospreay's done it. Ibushi's done it. Okada's done it. Everybody over there has done it. But yeah, it's if you can make a good match with a lifeless doll, then you can put on a good match with anybody.
Yeah, so the other one is Jim Cornette likes to rag on him about it's a match with a little girl. But it was like for her birthday. It was never supposed to be seen by others. Somebody filmed it and put it out there.
Yeah, it's just like that kid that was dressed as Orange Cassidy that pinned Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship. It wasn't meant to be anything. It was just a feel-good thing.
Yeah, if they're making kids happy, shut the fuck up.
Or Kenny Omega taking the pin to -1 after Brody died. Yeah. The blow-up doll match praise sounds very Markish, not gonna lie. Well, it's just tradition, like I said. I mean, it is a way to prove yourself that you can put on a good match with anybody. I'm not gonna hate it. But my number 3, I'm gonna move on to my number 3, is Sting. As I've told you guys before when we first started this podcast, Sting is one of the first wrestlers that made me fall in love with wrestling. He was the one that really caught my eye when I was a little kid. I had the Sting wrestling buddy, and just Sting was my guy as a little kid. There's no way Sting was going to be outside of my top 3 just because of he's probably the one that pulled me into wrestling so much. And even moving past his WCW days, because as I've stated to you guys before, I was a WCW kid. My household was WCW, not WWF. So yeah, I was heavy in this thing. But even following him over to TNA, watching him as the Joker Sting. Joker Sting is probably my favorite Sting. Just everything. He was just able to reinvent himself so many times and made the best out of every situation. Even coming back and facing Seth Rollins, he still made the best out of any situation. And I applaud him for that. I love Sting. He's still back in AEW now, having a couple matches here and there. And he still looks like Sting, which is great. But yeah.
All right, let's get caught up on chat here. We got rated. He has number 3 is Goldberg. Ties is Shawn Michaels. Travis Whiffs is Jericho. Batman's is AJ Styles. All good choices. Gravity Well has The Rock as his number 3. All good choices. I'm not big
Jericho
on Goldberg, but
and Edge. Yeah, I'm not big on Goldberg. That's a pretty choice. He was never good in the ring, and he was never good on the mic either. He was just over pushed.
He was good at squashing people. I mean, they hyped the hell out of him, and good for them, because that was one of the few stars that WCW made on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And it got him ratings for a bit, but yeah, comebacks now, I just can't.
Yeah, and I mean,
Stop bringing him back.
Like I stated before, like I said, I was a WCW guy. My first live show that I went to was a WCW event, and I've stated my first interaction with a professional wrestler was Goldberg. Goldberg did hold me as a freaking 3-year-old, and there's a picture of it.
That's cool.
But yeah, I was just he was great when I was like a little kid, and he was just a big dude that just ran through a bumblebee. But yeah, once I really got into wrestling, I was like, there's nothing special about this guy. Yeah, rated, it is not Christian. Christian didn't even make my top 10, but neither did Edge. So
neither one of them made mine either.
yeah.
Number 3 for me is Kenny Omega. So,
Hey.
what we just talked about, he had to be on there. I mean, like we talk about all the stuff I just said about him. He's one of the best in the world right now.
Makes it look so easy.
Yeah, and collecting all the belts and great character, great storytelling. So he had to be up there.
Absolutely. Now I feel like I put him low. You put him higher on your list than I did.
Yeah, he deserves to be up high.
I agree. He's still made my top 10. I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, on to
All
your
right.
number 2.
My number 2 is The Undertaker. Just such a great character. You thought when you first see it, you're like, this is not gonna last. This first time he comes out of Survivor Series, you're like, this will be done in a few. But he kept reinventing himself. He kept making the character just fit in, and from his like manager with Paul Bear, that was like one of the best teamings ever. Then the feud with Kane, feud with Mankind, just I mean,
Yeah.
one of the best ever.
I was never a Taker guy. I don't know why. I honestly don't. He just wasn't for me. I mean, if you can pick up anything from my top 10 list, I don't have one big guy. Big man wrestling just isn't for me. I do appreciate his character and his ability to reinvent himself, going to the badass biker and everything like that, but yeah, he just couldn't make my top 10 just because big men aren't my thing.
I think he's the only big man I have on there.
Let's see. We have ties. Number 2 is Seth Rollins. Bats is John Cena. Gravities is Jericho. Rateds is Stone Cold. Bullets is The Rock. Yeah, all good number 2s. All good number 2s. My number 2 is there with Ty. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is arguably my favorite wrestler today. If you guys have been watching this and watch every week or listen every week on podcast services, you know that my top 3 are Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Seth Rollins. But yeah, Seth Rollins just going back and watching his NXT stuff, his FCW stuff, debuting with the Shield, turning on the Shield, and becoming one of the biggest names in wrestling at that time once he turned on the Shield and moved over to the Authority. I loved Authority Rollins. It's pretty much split down the middle whether you loved Authority Rollins or you hated Authority Rollins. I was one of the ones that loved Authority Rollins.
I thought it was great storytelling.
Absolutely. He has my favorite cash-in Money in the Bank history at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. The heist of the century is what they call it.
Yeah, that turned that main event from nobody cared to
oh my god,
everybody cared.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I mean, I think that the New Age Rollins, well, even him getting hurt and then coming back to feud with Triple H, that feud was amazing. Getting Samoa Joe in there as well against him, that was amazing. I think that his newer age gimmick would have worked a little bit better if they stuck away from the Mysterios for a bit, but they kept that going way too long. So I think that
Also,
hurt it in the end.
with the Messiah thing, they put people with him and then they were just gone.
Yeah, they were
And
just...
they didn't really give a reason. They
Yeah.
were just gone. Like, what was it?
Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy.
And the two big guys.
Oh, AOP.
AOP, yeah.
Yeah, they were the ones that started with him.
They were just gone. Like, what happened to his disciples? He's the Messiah, and he had disciples, and now he's got nobody.
Exactly. I think WWE ruined that. I don't think Seth Rollins did. I loved it when it first started. Even down to him realizing he forgot to take a glove off one day, and people commented on it on Twitter and were pissed off that he was wearing one glove. So he said, okay, I'm going to keep this, and now he wears one glove. It's just great. Everything about Seth Rollins is fantastic. I think if he sticks it out another 5 years at the level that he's at right now, he could take my number 1 spot. And that's going to be very, very hard to do. But I think Seth Rollins, if anybody, could easily take my number 1 spot if he keeps up the work that he's been doing. But yeah. Now on to number one. Chat, I want to see your guys' number ones right now. Let me see your number ones before we get into it. Let's see. Ty says John Cena is his number one. Rated says his number one is The Rock. Rated, you cheat. You had your number 1 and 2, The Rock and Stone Cold. How can you even do that? Gravity, we knew yours was going to be Edge. Bat has The Rock as number 1. Yeah, I mean, all good picks there. All good picks besides Edge. Edge is an okay pick. No, they're all good picks. Bullets number 1 was Christian. Hell yeah, love to hear that. Love to hear that. Way better than Edge. Am I right? Am I right? It's hard to say that you love both those, Rated. I mean, you can. It's possible, but they feuded way too much. They were rivals. It's hard to love both of them. I start off with the number 1. So my number 1 of all time is Chris Jericho. Yeah, Chris Jericho is the man. He is everything professional wrestling. He's been in this business now for what, 30? What, he just had his 25-year, 30-year thing celebration. But yeah, Chris Jericho is just amazing. His ability, if we want to talk about anybody's ability to change themselves and make themselves relevant at all times, Chris Jericho is that guy. He was able to make himself relevant at all times, becoming the first ever undisputed champion. He's just, the dude's insane. And he's still going at a high level today. People say, oh, he's getting fat. You hit a moonsault. Or you hit a lion salt. I bet you can't. But Chris Jericho still can. So, his book's on his way to you. Hey, I am ordering his book right after this show because I really want to see that. He made a book, and apparently Chris Jericho has kept track of every single match he's had in his career in a diary. It says the outcome, where it was, who it was against, every single match, even house shows that he had. And he made it into a book. So that's amazing. Yeah, 30 years. That's insane to me. He's been doing it longer than I've been alive. And he's just amazing. Chris Jericho is easily my number 1. But like I said, Seth Rollins, keep it up. You could take that number 1 spot.
Yeah, you can't say nothing bad about Jericho. I mean, he got over a clipboard with a list on it.
He did score each match out of 5. That's what I heard, at least.
That whole "you just made the list" catchphrase. He's got more catchphrases than anybody, I think.
Oh, and the man of 1,001 holds.
Oh yeah.
When he was feuding with Dean Malenko. Oh my God. Yeah. Everything Chris Jericho.
They referenced that on AEW too.
Oh yeah, when he was standing with Dean Malenko.
He's like, I forgot a few of them.
Yeah. You're number 1.
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He was growing up, he's one of my favorites. Like, the Rockers was good. The whole thing when he turned on Jannetty, that's one of my favorite turns. Like, maybe, like, the best heel turn ever on a person. I know Bobby Heenan made that, but the whole Jannetty tried to jump through the window, but the whole thing was great. Even if he saw it coming, it was still great. And then DX.
I just kicked Stan. Rated just said that in chat.
Yeah,
I did love that.
It was Ty Dillinger, wasn't it?
Was it Ty Dillinger?
Yeah, I believe that was Ty Dillinger that he kicked.
With the papers?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look at that. I hope it's true. I hope it was, because that's going to make it so much funnier if it was. I'm YouTubing it right now as we speak, because I just want to see it. And I don't think we can get hit if I'm not showing it and you guys just hear I just kicked Stan. Oh,
yeah,
now we have an ad.
Then
You don't want
the
to pick
whole
Cody's pretty much.
the whole thing with DX was great. Then him against Tyson, or not against with Tyson, and it was in the ring with Stone Cold and him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm playing it.
I know he was a piece of crap backstage for the longest time, but that didn't matter when I was younger, you know. So
It is Ty Dillinger. You just blow my mind.
yeah, it's funny seeing people pop up like that. Like
It
MJF
is.
was a security guard the
Yep.
one time in WWE, and
It was Shawn Spears. That's wild. Oh man. But yeah, that was our top 10 list. How do you feel about your top 10 list? Do you feel like you missed anybody on the way? Are you still liking your list?
I missed AJ for sure, and I don't know where I would put him because I might bump Okada just because I haven't seen him as much, and I might have to bump people down to put him up higher because AJ is one of the best. But
Yeah.
I'm happy with my list for the most part, minus AJ.
And right now, as we speak, I've been documenting. I am posting our top 10 list on the page. And yeah. Let's see here.
What do you guys think? Well, you guys don't agree with what we have on there? Think they shouldn't be on there at all? I mean, it's our opinions, but you can give us what you think of it if we shouldn't have put them on there.
Yeah, and I'm going to run through these one more time. At number 10, I had Bret Hart. Trevor had Okada. At number 9, I had Tommy Dreamer. He had Sting. Number 8, I had Rob Van Dam. He had $1 Million Man. Number 7, I had Macho Man Randy Savage. He had Chris Jericho. Number 6, I had AJ Styles. Trevor had Bret Hart. Number 5, I had John Cena. Trevor had Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 4, I had Kenny Omega. Trevor had The Rock. At number 3, I had Sting. Trevor had Kenny Omega. Number 2, I had Seth Rollins. He had The Undertaker. And number 1, I had Chris Jericho, and he had Shawn Michaels.
You're damn right, Rated. $1 Million Man is one of the best heels ever.
Absolutely. And you can't argue that. You can't. It's very true. I'm saving our list as well. But yeah, he was, but top 10, nah. I mean, it's opinion based. You had Goldberg in your top 10, so.
And
Nah.
Goldberg wouldn't make my honorable mentions.
Yeah, he wasn't great in the ring, and he wasn't great on the mic. He was just blah, got pushed. Honestly, I think that Brock Lesnar might make it towards the end of my top 10. I just don't know who I'd bump out. Because old school Brock Lesnar was so good when he actually was trying weekly. So good.
Yeah, even some of his newer stuff when he wanted to, like him and Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah, and him and Finn Balor.
Yeah, when he gives a shit, it can be a good match. It's not just a 5-minute squash match.
Mm-hmm.
But then you put him against Goldberg, and no, never again. I don't want to see that ever again. I don't want to see Goldberg in the ring ever again, really.
Breaking news, Tyler Breeze just sent out a tweet saying that he's been preparing to get fired since the day he got hired. Thunderbird, thank you for the host. That's sad. That's sad. That's a sad tweet. I've been preparing to get fired since the day I got hired. That's not having confidence, my friend. Not having confidence. But yeah, that was your week in wrestling. That was our top 10 of all time.
We plan on doing more of these, Batman. We just didn't want. We wanted to switch up stuff on the retro review this week, and we're gonna do more. We just thought,
And who knows? We might do another top 10 next week. I think a women's one would be interesting as well. I did have a woman that I wanted to put on my top 10 as far as wrestlers in general, but I decided against it because I just felt like this was a men's list and we would do a women's list down the line. So I mean, we're gonna do more top 10 lists. We're gonna do top 10 pay-per-views. We're gonna do top 10 women's wrestlers. We're gonna do top 10 heels, top 10 promos. We're gonna do top 10 lists throughout. And who knows? Next week we might decide we're gonna do a top 10 list instead of doing a retro review. Just because it's nice. I feel like it does get you guys a lot more talkative as well. It gets chat a lot more interested and wanting to comment on things. Just like Rated, he never comments on this podcast, but he was here commenting in his entire top 10 this time. So I mean, it's nice. We enjoy it. We enjoy seeing everybody's different takes on things. Bat, you being from the UK, seeing your different mindset on things. Me and Trevor, we have an age gap of 10 years, so it's good to see the gap on that as well. And then Ty's all the way down at the lonely age of 20 years old. So it's good to see his difference on things as well. But yeah, we're definitely going to do more top 10 lists for a bunch of different things that are in the world of wrestling. But for now, this was our week in wrestling, and this was our top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. Trevor, anything?
thanks for coming out, everybody. Thanks for sharing your top 10 with us as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tomorrow it is going to be an album review. So please tune in. Or no, that's Tuesday. I keep thinking it's Monday. My bad. Tomorrow, as long as I'm home on time, we're doing Halo, baby. We're doing Halo again. We're going to be doing a lot of Halo on this channel. Getting ready for Halo Infinite coming out. We're stoked for it. Me and Gravity Well especially. Thank you, Rated. Yeah, we're hyped for Halo Infinite. Me and Gravity both are in agreement that Halo is prime video game. Yeah, so we are going to be doing Halo tomorrow as long as I am off work and home on time. Tuesday, yeah, you guys are going to be getting another podcast, this time for an album review. Wednesday is going to be NAW Pride. You will see King versus Goldman. Yeah,
Biggest
that's
main event ever.
yeah, it's the biggest main event ever. I'll be there. And then Thursday, of course, we got NAW back again. And then Friday, who knows? We'll see. May pull out Halo again, just to have some fun with you guys, because we do like doing these community nights as well. It seems like you guys are starting to really like Halo as well. I know a few of you got Halo just to be on the last community night. Ty, for example, never played Halo before, and then got into Halo with us, and now wants to get into it. Rated, we've talked about this. You need to be a main eventer to speak. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for showing up. As always, 2 people subscribed tonight, so thank you guys very much. A lot of hosts. We wanna grow. We wanna grow with you guys. Rated, you cannot be the main event if you are a background dancer in a faction, which you have been your entire career. I am sorry. Bat, no, he is not. Stop siding with him because you guys are in the same faction. Trevor, would you say that being a background dancer in a faction makes you a main eventer?
No.
Thank you. But yes, again, thank you guys. Yes, you have, Rated. Yes, you have. Stop arguing it. thank you guys again. Yeah, we love you very much. We hope to continue to grow. 2 months ago, we were not getting the amount of views that we get now. We peaked at 21 views tonight, so we've definitely grown. And we like you guys being involved as well. So again, thank you very much. We will see you guys next week. Stay tuned for this week as well. See you.
The following announcement has been paid for by the